every day to the world and to your heart. Open up your eyes and let your spirit start. Say yes to the dreams you hold inside. Let your soul be your guide.
In today's complex mortgage world, finding the right direction can be challenging. That's where Lighthouse Advisors comes in. With over 25 years of experience, we provide fractional leadership and executive oversight, guiding companies through transitions, growth, and innovation. From IMBs to brokers to credit unions to tech firms, our team of seasoned professionals is here to shine a light on solutions, ensuring your business thrives in every environment. At Lighthouse Advisors, we don't just guide, we empower. Together, let's create a ripple of success across the industry. Email us today at laura@lighthouseadvisors.com.
Thank you for joining us today for another episode of Wednesday Wisdom. We are in for a treat because today we have the incredible Lisa Beth Thomas, and she is going to share some amazing insights. And let me tell you a little bit about her. She is one of the most respected women in Central Texas for her creativity and her successful advertising campaigns. As an award-winning producer, motivational speaker, and the founding president of Texas Women in Business, and the creative visionary and co-founder of Not on Our Watch Texas, a statewide campaign against child online sexual exploitation and sextortion. For 14 years, LB was the big cheese of the LBTJ ad agency and video production company, and now she runs Big Cheese TV. LB has and continues to have unique opportunities in the film and television world. She's an award-winning producer and has produced for ABC, HBO, Disney, Fox, HGTV, and lots of other ones and numerous reality shows. LB was awarded Women of Influence and currently is profiled in the Austin Business Journal of the Impact Texas Women in Business in her state. She's now using her leadership and her marketing experience to protect children online. With Not on Our Watch Texas, soon to be Not on Our Watch World. Well, LB, we are thrilled to have you here, and we want to always kick it off with, we'd love to hear from you. What is one of the best pieces of advice that you have ever received from someone, and how has that influenced everything else that has happened in your life?
Well, thank you, Laura. It's awesome to be here. You were referred to me by my good friend, Brooke Dukes, and I'm glad she connected us. And I have to say, when you write your own intro, you sound amazing. So anybody out there, just go ahead and write your own. You'll be brilliant. I listened this morning. I've listened to your podcast, and I was on a walk, and I was listening to a couple of the podcasts you did, and I love the questions. And one of your guests, and I know this is coming a little bit later, Dan, I love when he talked about fear, that he listened to himself in fear. And that's one of the things that I think, and I know you really talked about that. When I realized what my core fears are, because we have about 5, when I realized what mine were, that made such a difference for me, because now I question when I have fear, is it my core fear, or should I be really worried about this? So I loved his answer. But your question was from somebody else. Yeah. So the best advice I got, and I didn't listen to, was know your numbers. My good friend, Melinda Garvey, one of my besties, is the founder of Austin Women Magazine. And she preached to everybody, know your numbers. Well, I'm the creative. I'm the one that does all the creative and the advertising. I do the producing. And my husband at the time was my partner, who was the operation side. And I trusted him. And I trusted that all would go well. I trusted he was taking care of taxes. He used to be a banker, all of that. And not listening to that advice when we divorced, he hadn't filed 3 years of our personal taxes.
Uh-oh.
from like years, like 7, 8, 9 years prior. And for your audience, that's interest and penalties daily.
Oh,
And so he then left the agency. I kept the ad agency, and the IRS came after me and my house. And I'm talking like hundreds of thousands. I mean, it was a lot of
yeah.
money. So in a 3.5 month period, by not knowing my numbers, by not questioning, by not saying, wait, what's going, hold on. I lost my business. I lost my house, and my mom died
Wow.
all in a 3.5 month period, 3.5 month period. And I joke with Melinda now, yeah, that was great advice. So I should have followed that. So
Oh my God, what great advice, and something that few people actually speak of, right? Because, whether you're an entrepreneur or whether a salesperson, whether, whatever you are that's listening to this, you have to know your numbers.
yeah,
Whatever that means to you. Now, we all know if you own a business, if you're an entrepreneur, yes, you have to have all your business numbers. But it's not just that. It could be you're a salesperson, right? And you have to know your numbers from that perspective. It could be you're in marketing, right? And you have to know your analytics and you have to know your numbers there. It could be that you're in production or operations, right? And
right.
you need to know your numbers there. So knowing your numbers, don't mistake. It's not just being a business owner. Everyone needs to know their numbers, and not on a yearly basis or a monthly or a quarterly, on a daily basis. You need to know, be able to recite it off the top of your head and take action on it. Oh my
Yeah.
God, I love that. So now
Well, and you're in the money business, so
I
you
am.
know. And it's interesting that you say that, because every morning, literally before I do devotions, I always say, "Good morning, God," when I wake up. Thank you. It's going to be it is a great day. I look at my accounts to make sure that nothing's happened overnight. There hasn't been identity anything. I just do a quick check, and then I get on with the rest, just to make sure, because I was homeless for 6 months. So I mean, I
Wow.
actually did not have a home. Luckily, my children were grown.
Yeah.
2 were at college. One was married down in San Antonio with her husband. So they lost their home, but they didn't have to live on
Wow.
couches like I did. But yeah,
Wow.
know your
So,
numbers. It's
so
really important.
LB, tell me, okay, you mentioned, you look at your numbers first thing when you're up, but how has that now changed your life today? Like what are some of the changes that you've made with that? What's the lesson learned that you modified what you do today?
That's a great question. What I do today is I absolutely check my numbers. I know what my budget is. I double check. If someone says, "I've got this," awesome, great. Let me see. Let me double check. And again, sometimes I think it could just be an innocent mistake. We all make mistakes. We all multitask 100, we all are doing, but I always double check it. And actually with my husband now, who's amazing, I'll talk to him about the numbers, and we look at the numbers, and I'll have him look at something that I'm working on, just to make sure. So, but I know what the numbers are, and it's made a complete difference, because the other part of that, Laura, and that's a really good point I just thought of, it also gives me more confidence, more self-esteem, because I'm more self-aware. I know my numbers. I'm not relying on somebody else. Yeah, it made me absolutely more confident in pricing myself.
Yep.
Somebody
There you
else,
go.
in the advertising agency, the one I had, the LBTJ, again, he would come up with the numbers and that type of thing. Well, now I price, and I know what I'm worth.
There you go. I
Yeah.
love that. What great lesson. So thank you for that. That's
Yeah.
fantastic.
People
Okay.
ask me, and I say all the time, it was the most horrendous, horrible thing, but it was the best thing that ever happened to me.
Well, that's always that perspective when you can look backwards and see.
Right.
You
When
can't
you're
see
in
that
it,
when
you're
you're
like,
in
"Are
it.
you kidding me?" Yeah.
You
Yeah.
cannot see clearly when you're in it, right? But like anything, you have to, no pun intended of what's above me with my company name, but you have to keep going towards the light. When
You
you're
have
in the
to.
darkness, you
Yeah.
have,
And if
even
you,
no matter how dark it gets, keep going forward towards the light.
yeah, and in the darkest time, I was pissed off. I was swearing at God. I was like, are you son of a, are you kidding? You could do this. I could have a miracle. You could, all of that. But I had to learn that lesson. I had to walk through it. And so you're right. I was drinking wine, and it was the cheap bottom of the shelf wine because I had no money. But it was like I said, it is a valuable lesson. And one thing I want to share, one more thing about this before we move to the next question is when I kept sharing my story of poor me, look what happened, look what he did, look what the IRS did, it kept me stuck back there, and it kept me as a victim. When one day I literally kind of went, wait, I don't want to be this sad sack. I don't want to go to people for sympathy. I'm Lisa Beth Thomas. Come on.
That's right. You're LB.
I'm out there. I'm LB. And so I realized then I had to take accountability. What did I do? What didn't I do? How didn't I, and then I got to take control. And when I took control of the story and the narrative and stopped pointing it out there at everybody else, but okay, what about me? What can I do? What can I change? I became the victor. So if somebody's out there listening and you're stuck and you just want people to feel sorry for you, I get it. Give yourself some morning time, but then go, done, and move on.
I love that. And what great advice. And listen, for everyone out there, we've all been there. Everyone. There is not one person on this earth. Now, the level of what you've experienced may be different. Right. I mean, your story of homelessness and all of that, that's a very difficult thing to go through. And of course, you had 3 things within 3 months, right? That were life-changing and devastating, right? So everyone has different levels. And listen, I hope everyone listening out there never has experienced a dark time, or maybe it was just a little gray, not too dark, right? Yeah. But at the end of the day, regardless of what those things are, you got to have a little pity party for a moment. It's okay. We can call our best friend, we can call our moms, or we can speak to our partners and have that little pity party. And then it's over. Then it's time to realize you're in control and you will create that reality that you believe, right? So before we move on to the next question, I do need to understand, not on our watch. I need to understand where it originated. I need to understand, what it is, how, please share that with the audience.
I am thrilled because today is a very big day. And I'll tell you, because I'm in blue and green, and I'll explain because when I get off where I'm going, not on our watch. Back up. Okay. I was a founding president of Texas Women in Business 15 years ago. And so for our 10-year anniversary, and we have chapters around the state now, everybody's a volunteer. The 10-year anniversary, they asked if I would be president of the Austin chapters where it originated. And I was like, oh, that's cool. Yeah, for the 10-year anniversary, I'd love to. So I went to the governor's office of Texas and said, we're Texas Women in Business. We're going to have a gala. We're going to drink. We're going to do all that for our 10 years. But what can we do that'll make an impact on our state?
Got it.
And the Governor's Commission for Women, Christina McKinney, said, do you know Texas is #1 in human trafficking? And I went, wait, what? What are you talking about? And I used to be in the newsroom. I used to, and I'm in the media. I mean, so I know. And I was like, why don't I know that? Why is that not known? And she was like, I don't know. And I go, why isn't that not on the news every night? So we decided that we need to use my marketing background, and let's do an awareness campaign so people could become aware and do something about it, right?
Right.
Well, that was September of 2019. The governor gave us the capital to launch, which was amazing.
Yeah.
In June of 2020.
Okay.
COVID.
Got it. Yeah, I'm picturing. I got it.
Next year, COVID. The next year, people didn't want to be in big groups. So we didn't launch until September of 23. But here's the thing that came out of this is that coming out of COVID, the stats for online predators and grooming, exploitation, and sextortion of our kids went up 567%. Because predators go where the kids are. Kids are online. And they figured out how to groom, how to manipulate, and how to get these kids to leave their house and get in a car or send videos and then have sextortion. And we tell people, this is the new white van. When we were kids, we were told to stay away from the white van. Well, now we're putting our kids to bed with the predator. So we were like, okay, every family or 99.9% of every family has a phone, iPhone, a tablet, a gaming device.
Yeah.
We need to make these people aware. We need to make mama bears,
Yeah.
papa bears aware, because our slogan is we can't protect against what we're not aware of.
Yeah, and to your point, LB, and it's so interesting because I was just having this conversation with my daughter-in-law because she has a 2.5-year-old, my granddaughter, and she was saying to me, you know, Laura, although, yes, I'm a younger generation than you are, she goes, things are changing so fast online that I don't even know how to protect a child, a young lady, right, as she becomes of age where she will have a phone, right? Because I don't even know. I don't understand. To your point, even the younger generation, this stuff is changing so fast, and they are so good at that of how to go where they are and how to groom and everything you just said that you wouldn't even know how to protect, even when you are aware, but yet you don't know how to protect necessarily.
But you made a really great point because the younger generation, it was happening, but it wasn't happening like it is now. Like my daughters are 42, 32, and I have granddaughters 19, 17, and 15. My daughter, they didn't experience that. So she wasn't aware of it. And so we talk about it all the time. And there are red flags that people need to look out for. And on not on our watch tx.com, people can go and we have information where you can look for the red flags, and the red flags, more importantly, that your kids need to look out for. So they know, wait a minute, this guy's asking for a picture, or, he's asking me to go into a private chat. No, red flag. Two of my favorite things that, I forgot one of them. It just came to my mind and went away. One of my favorite things. So what we do is we do panel discussions around Texas, and now we're going down to Florida. We have other states. That's why we're going to Not in Our Watch World. But we have detectives and cybersecurity and FBI on these panels.
Yep.
And they share what people need to look out for, when to start talking about how to talk to your kids.
Yep.
And the saddest but best advice I heard was from a mom whose daughter, it's usually boys are more targeted in sextortion. And sextortion is if you send a video and then they ask for money and they're going to blackmail you by posting it everywhere, saying they're going to post it. But her advice was, we always tell our kids, don't. So when they do, they don't want to come to us because they're going to get in trouble. She said, if I would have told my daughter, don't. But if you do, I have your back. Come to me. I don't care what it is.
Right.
We will do this together. We will figure it out together. And I went, what brilliant advice, because it opens the door. And one of my favorite detectives said, and then when they come to you and tell you that they did post a nude photo, because now 34% of all 13-year-olds think it's normal, it's okay to post a nude photo. When they do post that photo, he says, don't lose your mind.
Right.
Because if you lose your mind, they're not going to come to you. He said, just stay calm. Okay, let's go to NCMEC, National Center of Missing and Exploited Children. We can take that photo down. Let's do it. Because then go in a closet and lose your mind, but don't lose your mind in front of them.
That's great advice.
It's great advice. And so we've been 5 years in the making, but not really, because we lost all that momentum during COVID. But like I said, we're doing panel discussions, we're going out. And the thing that's happening today is I reached out to the Girl Scouts about a year ago. And again, with all the crazy things going on in the world, but I am going today and signing an agreement with the Girl Scouts of Central Texas. We're creating a patch and curriculum.
Oh, I love it.
So, and the Central Texas Girl Scouts are creating the curriculum through their programming for the girls for online safety. They'll get a patch, and then it'll be available to all 2 million girls.
Oh, that's fantastic.
And that's why I'm in blue and green today. I'm going up and we're signing the deal. And I had a call the other day with them, and they want to launch all of it in August. So we are
that's a tight
all
schedule.
all ages. And one of the things that we really want is we want the older girls, the curriculum, to be talking to other girls.
Yeah.
So it's not troop leader, it's girlfriend to girlfriend.
And that's important. That's important.
We want it to be where girls go, he wants a nude photo,
Yeah.
you know, a girlfriend to a girlfriend,
Yeah.
don't do it.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
Yeah.
So
That's
we're,
right.
so we're really, I am, and then today I was listening to Good Morning America and it's National Girl Scout Day and I went, oh my God.
Oh, is it? I didn't even realize that.
Yes,
Well,
so
look at
that's
that.
perfect
Timed
timing.
perfectly.
Perfect timing.
Perfectly.
Yes.
Well, I love what you're doing. We all know, unfortunately, we all know how vital this is. I wish that wasn't the case. I wish
Right.
I could literally sit here going, why are you doing that? Oh no, we all know
Yeah.
this is necessary. And this is something we all need to be aware of and we need to learn and we need to be open, right? We have to be open to listen and we have to take care of all of those. And it doesn't even have to necessarily be that you have a daughter or a granddaughter or a sister or whatever. This is all of our communities that we
Well,
have
and I
to.
love that you said that because people will say, did one of your kids get groomed? And I'm like, no,
No.
no. But I know friends that their kids are probably being groomed and they don't know it.
Right.
It's more aware of this is all of our kids could
It
be
is.
groomed and we don't know. And I also have people say, oh, I don't like the governor or I don't. This is not right or left. This is
No.
kids. We're not
No.
going Republican, Democrat. We're
No.
going kids. So
No,
it's
this
not
is
about your
children.
governor. It's not about your president. It's not about anything.
No.
It's about protecting your kids online.
That's right. And I know I've referenced girls. I want to correct that. This is all children. We have to be
Mhm.
very mindful of that this
Yeah.
is not just girls. This is all children, female
Yeah.
or male. So we unfortunately again this is the case. Okay.
is.
So thank you for that. Now, to keep our conversation going, my next question I always like to ask, right? Because everyone is some form of a leader, right? Regardless of what title you hold or who you are. I love to always get people's advice on what do you think the most important trait as a leader, in your opinion, that you'd like to share as guidance for everyone?
I love this question because I know everybody has different answers and some are the same, but the background of the answers are different. I think a really great leader is knowing that every single person is different. Every single person comes from a different background, comes from different values, comes from a different home life, and is to listen. Not just listen, but to hear and not I talk to people all the time when I do workshops or when I'm coaching and say, talk to people's listening because your listening is different than my listening.
That's right.
You may be very analytical and I'm very expressive. And so if I come to you as an expressive, like, oh my God, I can't wait to tell you this vision. Can you see it? And I get all excited about it. If you're very analytical, you're going to be like, I'm not hearing a word you're saying because I don't get it.
Correct.
So when I coach people and I talk to people, I say, talk to people's listening. And again, even with your employees, if you've got an analytical employee or you've got somebody that's very amiable as a team player, you don't want to go to them about numbers. You want to go to them about being part of the team. And when they come to you and you know that they're more of the team player that really wants to hold the team together and they want to plan the parties, they want to listen to that, talk to that. And I think it's really important. We always talk to people from our own perspective instead of listening from their perspective. And when you do that, employees always know they're valued, they're being heard. You know, they're going to want to do more for the company because they feel important. When I was at Pinehurst Resorts in North Carolina, I put together a training program and I went to my boss and it was during the day of customer was number one.
Yep.
And I went to my boss and said, I'm rewriting it that the customer's third. And he was like, wait, what? Tom Peters says customer's number one. And I said, but if employees feel the most valued, they're heard, they feel important, and what they do makes a difference is number one. Number two is if they work together in a team and they have each other's back and they know that a team makes us all work, you know, we have to work together to make it happen. Number three, the customer is going to feel number one.
Absolutely.
So I think listening, hearing, and make a big difference as a leader. I
Huge
really do.
difference. Huge difference. Because
And
you,
you're
I
really,
mean, and
and
you
you're
know
very
this.
successful. You know that.
Yeah, but you know that most people are only listening to respond. You know that, right? Like we know that's what, and that's usually because so everybody is like, okay, I hear what LB is saying to me, and I have to be ready to come back to what she's saying. And that's where we all get it wrong as humans, right? Regardless of who you are, as humans, that's our mistake. And it's very interesting at this point in time. I have a client that, as part of the executive meetings every week, he has us reading a book about this topic. So yes. And I have to tell you now, although I'm not, quote, on the executive team, I'm a consultant, I'm doing it with them. And ever since I started this, it has completely changed my brain. Because to your point, when I'm speaking to someone, I'm like, oh, they're analytical. I have to change the way I'm speaking. To your point, if I come out with all my energy and giving you visions, to your point, they're like, what?
Yeah, you're going to shut them down. Yeah, they're like, ugh.
So great discussion point for everyone out there. There's lots of, books out there and different things that you can watch and videos, but it starts with us. We have to realize that number one, we have to truly listen, not listen to respond. And number two, the minute that you can communicate with someone and as who they are and how they interpret, you will rise in terms of your communication skills and being a leader. Thank you for that, LB. Love it.
I love that. And I know what I've trained myself to do is that when someone's talking to me, I ask myself, am I supposed to give advice, listen, or am I supposed to give advice? Am I supposed to answer? Or am I supposed to just listen? And I ask myself that because sometimes all people want is heard. They don't want my answer. They just want someone to listen to them. And when I do that, I always get a feeling of what I should do. And so again, what I love your point, I'm not thinking about my response. I'm just like, okay. And then I'll say to somebody, you know what? Let me think on that for a minute. Let me think on that. Yeah.
There you go. Okay. My last and final question that I love is I believe in the whole magic wand, so to speak, of if we put it out, then we're one step closer to accomplishing something, right? That the minute that we speak it to existence, right? So I always like to end our time together with what your moonshot is. If you had no fear and no obstacles and unlimited capability and whatever else you need to make it happen, what would that be? What would be something? It doesn't have to be tied to business. It could be personal. It could be anything that you would love to achieve if you had no limits.
That's easy.
Okay.
When first came up with the concept of not on our watch, I saw myself at the White House with the team that made it happen being acknowledged at the White House from the president, again, whatever president that is. I mean, I don't know if it's 10 years from now, 5 years from now, tomorrow, that what we did made a difference and saved lives. I saw myself there.
Well, you have to. That's where it starts, right? You have to see yourself there.
I mean, and you think about it, MAD, Mothers Against Drunk Driving started with a mom who was mad, and it was organic in her home when she started it. And now it's a worldwide, cause. And I'm like, we can do this. There's enough mama bears out there and papa bears out there to say, no, not on my watch. Not on our watch. You're not going to hurt my kid.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I see
I see it too, LB. It's crystal clear to me.
I'll let you know.
Vision. Yeah,
I'll let you know.
Please let me know. I'm only, if I'm on my Jersey, if I'm on the East Coast, I'm only a drive. So you let me know when that's happening. I'll be there. All right, LB, how do people learn more about you? How do they support your efforts? Please share with the audience.
I would, for Not On Our Watch TX, Not On Our Watch Texas, go to notonourwatchtx.com. You can reach me through that. And again, we're changing it to Not In Our Watch World. So don't go, oh, it's just Texas. No, we're going everywhere. We're talking to everybody. And because of this patch, we're going to change it to world because it's going to be, all over. if you have it on your heart to make a donation to help us create more programs, we'd love for you to do that. Otherwise, on LinkedIn, lisabeththomas.com on LinkedIn I know you created a book on fear. I created a course on outwitting fear. You can find out about that and reach me through that for Not on Our Watch, or just if you want to talk ideas, or if you want to share a story, let me know.
I love it. Well, LB, thank you so much, and thank you to Brooke for bringing us together. That is how we continue to grow ourselves, right? Never be afraid to connect to others. Look at this brilliance that LB has shared with us, and we appreciate all of your insights, and we wish you all the best. And I know one day you will let me know when it's time to come to the White House to support you.
I will let you know. You come
Thank you so
celebrate
much.
with us.
Take care.
Thank you.